Hi, everyone. Namaste. This is Ariela Halevi. Welcome on in. How's your heart today? How are you really feeling? I just want to check in before we start our video or podcast or however you're listening today. I just want to do a quick check-in and maybe take your hand to your heart and take a deep breath and really just check in. How are you feeling today? There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot. Right? So I want to just check in and see how you are. Drop a comment. Let me know how you're doing. And remember, when the stuff out there gets to be so overwhelming and so much in our earthly bodies, remember what your body needs, what you need, right? To calm down, to be in your peaceful space, to feel your emotions, to connect. Remember that when we live from the highest part of ourselves, then we can help others. And so that's a little bit about what we're going to talk about today, is how to live from our higher place, right? How do we connect to spirit and our guides when we feel disconnected? The majority of my clients say this to me: I don't know what to do. I have this amazing spiritual practice. I long to connect with spirit. I long to connect and listen to my angels and my guides. And the problem is that the road it gets bumpy and I don't know how to do it. And sometimes I feel like I'm getting messages and I'm feeling so guided and in the flow. And then the next moment I feel lost, or I feel alone, or I'm just not hearing or feeling or knowing or seeing that guidance. And so we're going to dive in today on how to receive consistent guidance and feel consistently in the flow, even when you don't feel it. Okay, so we're going to dive on into that question today. And this is a topic that's so near and dear to my heart. You know, I think we teach what we struggle with and we teach what our lessons are in this world. And one thing that I do really well now, like in the last probably 10 years, is dive into my heart and dive into my feelings. And for years and years and years, I felt like everybody else has this amazing connection to spirit and to their guides. And where do I stand in all that? And why do I feel so blocked? And I'm someone who feels deeply, right? Every time I deny my feelings, it just kind of bites me in the butt. And my feelings kind of turn around and say, you got to feel this stuff. And whether or not you're a deeply feeling person, it really doesn't matter. If you're living here on earth, if you're in an earthly body, which you all are, or you wouldn't be here, then you've got to be feeling something, whether it's whatever's going on in the world, or most of the time, what you're feeling is relationship issues with other people, but also the relationship between you and yourself, the relationship between you and spirit. Everything is about relationships. So relationships with nature. I can go on and on. And so let's dive in on how to get really connected when we don't feel it or when we struggle with it. Because if you're human, you struggle, right? But that doesn't mean that that's your story. And the most beautiful thing is that we're going to talk about and we're going to learn today about how not to lead with your story and how to lead with your heart, with your center, and how to connect with spirit and guides through that center, which starts right here, right in your heart center. And so often my clients will tell me, I feel so connected in the flow for 5 minutes or for an hour or for 24 hours or all week long. And then something happens and I feel disconnected and I wonder where spirit went and why does spirit leave me? Like, why do I feel like my guides aren't here? And it's such a beautiful question. And it's such a deep question of longing to feel more connected and more flow in the world. And the beautiful thing is that I always say God doesn't leave, right? You can call it God, the universe, spirit, but God doesn't leave. Our guides, especially you have a couple of guides that you start with in the beginning of your life that never leave. They are like a consistent presence on your shoulders that never go away. And so if you want to know the secret to a more consistent flow, a more consistent back and forth connection with your guides, Look no further than your emotions, right? And so you're probably saying, like, why would my emotions, which lead me into crazy thoughts or craziness, especially women as they enter into perimenopause and menopause, how could I even allow my emotions to lead me to my connection to a deeper flow with spirit? This magical connection can feel broken because our emotions get in the way. And so often women, they start hating as they enter a different stage in life, whether it's midlife, like menopause, perimenopause, or even later stages in life, when your body starts to kind of, change, when life feels different, when you feel older, like you feel like you're getting older, although ages in your head. But when you're feeling all these feelings where, when you're younger, you feel like, oh, my body's in the flow, everything is in the flow. And that's not true for everybody. But as we age, as we go through life, as we've had emotional connections with others and with ourselves, and we've just kind of lived life, right? Our emotions feel like enemies. They feel like they're actually impediments to living in the flow and to feeling connected, especially what I call the four roots: shame, doubt, guilt, and fear. I like to throw in a little bit of anger in there, a little rage, right? And sometimes grief, although grief is a different topic. The four main roots, shame, doubt, guilt, and fear, often are the ones that we hate the most. They're the toughest to get through, and they're seemingly impediments to connection with spirit. And so I want to tell you the magical ingredient and the magic that I have found personally and professionally with my clients, and especially with myself and my family, is like number one is using your emotions to connect back to spirit. So we're going to get like deeper into this topic. This is one of my favorite topics because everybody can benefit from this. So I'm going to ask you a question. How do you deal with difficult emotions? What do you do when you feel the shame, doubt, guilt, and fear, and a little rage and some grief? How do you handle it? Do you get on your phone? Do you scroll, Facebook, Netflix? Do you watch too much Netflix? Really, how do you handle when you start to feel like those uncomfortable emotions arise? What do you do with it? Think about it. Pause the video. Take a little look around. Do you shop? Do you busy yourself? So women are really good at multitasking. The one thing that we do really, really well is to get really, really busy. And where I think Brene Brown said, busyness is not meant to be worn as a badge of honor. It's actually an impediment to connection and to feeling. Do you eat too much? Do you emotionally eat? Do you shop? Do you spend money? How do you get stuck in the loop of your emotions? Some people just get totally stuck in the story, right? This happened and this happened. I'm laughing because I've done it. Do you ever feel like you're not talking to anybody, but you're going through this scenario that just happened over and over and over in your head, and you're thinking in your head, this is what I would say, and this is what I would have done. And you're like, you can't let it go, right? So some of us are just storytellers. We want to tell you and tell us, like we want to tell you and we want to tell ourselves all about the stories of our lives, the things that have happened. The challenge with the story is that you're not actually feeling, you're staying on the surface. So all of these things that I just talked about, the busyness, the key staying in the story, the overeating, the pretty soon you're going to start criticizing, blaming, pushing. You start pushing into other people's business, right? If you have children, if you have older children or even younger children, if you have older parents, you start to get hyper-focused on everybody else's issues. You want to fix everybody. I think I'm preaching to the choir here. Like there's so many ways in which women busy themselves and justifiably busy, right? I could give you a list It's actually right here. Here's my list. I could give you a list of the things that are going to keep me very, very busy for a very long time. But that's part of the story. I'm busy. I'm pushing through life. I'm super busy. Like, think about that. That's the story we tell each other. I bet a lot of you are having a hard time connecting with spirit and your guides, but also with each other, with your friendships, with your relationships, with your partners, with your body, with your spirit, because you're stuck in the loop of busy. Because underneath busy are a lot of emotions that you have maybe stored under the rug for another day. And so the essential way to connect with spirit and your guides and connect back to your body, the body that may be going through changes, the body that feels a little bit naked, the body that feels like it was a certain way and now it is a different way, the body that's just like, it's growing, right? Hopefully not out, but it's growing in so many ways. Our bodies are changing. This new earth that we're like really entering into, these new times, they have been really crazy and challenging, but also super beautiful and super awakening. But that doesn't mean our bodies know what to do with it. And so we're having a lot of emotions about all these things. The essential way, so I'm always coming back to center, right? The essential way to connect to your center, to your guides, and to your angels and to spirit is to create a practice, a little practice every single day to tend to your emotions. This is essential for your health, your mental wellness, and your daily connection to yourself and to spirit. It's like tending to a garden. Right? If you don't, I've seen it outside. Like if you don't tend to your garden, then the weeds spill over and you spend a lot of time pulling the weeds. If you tend to your garden every single day, then those weeds don't pop up as much because you're tending to them. You're tending to the essential emotions that you have so you can treat yourself better and feel more calm inside. And I swear to you, it's like guaranteed that your connection to spirit is now intact. And so the vast majority of us, they want to skip through this messy stuff, right? We want to do other things. We don't want to feel the fact that our kids are going away to college. We don't want to feel the fact that our parents are getting older. Maybe you're going through a divorce or a death or a loss, all that messy stuff, or maybe you're just having a hard time living in the world. We are masters at multitasking. And so, as I said before, the key is to create a practice where you have marked out in your calendar every single day to stop running and to start tending to those emotions. And we're going to talk about how to do that, right? Because some of us don't even know what we're feeling. Some of us don't even know we've kept the wall up for so many years that we're actually trained. We've trained ourselves and our brain really to protect ourselves from feeling those like overwhelming feelings. Feelings are not scary. They're movable. They are malleable. Feelings are the only thing scary is the story, right? Because we have told ourselves that these things, even the hardest things, are super scary. The truth is they're just emotions stored in your body and they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And they want to be felt. They're like little children, like pulling at your, remember when if you had little children, a little toddler will pull at your pants or your skirt or whatever you're wearing until you pay attention to her. And that is what spirit is asking us to do. As we are moving into more beautiful but intense times, spirit and our guides are saying to us, feel those 4 roots: shame, doubt, fear, guilt. I keep adding anger. Feel those roots and you will be connected, right? So let's kind of dive in a little bit deeper. When we don't feel our full feelings, we end up criticizing, blaming, raging, and quite moody, right? So when we are storing it up, what happens is we push it out into other people. That is why a lot of women tell me, I work with women all ages, right? I work with women that are 23 years old. I've worked with women that are 75 years old, 85 even, and everywhere in between. So this is a state, this like life stage stuff is like whatever stage you're in. What I'm finding is as women get older and their bodies change and their hormones change, again, even if you're 70, your hormones are still, we're still working with some of these we're working with a lot of body changes. And what happens is, instead of feeling the grief of every stage that we go through, right? If you're 30 and you're having kids and then you turn 40, 45, and you're no longer have little kids, that is a process of feeling those intense feelings so you can be free and move forward for the next stage. So every stage has an emotion. Every stage of life has a transition and an emotion. If you ritualize and really feel into those feelings, then you are able to move through each stage. If we don't, we end up blaming, criticizing other people and feeling rage bubble up inside of us, and we start controlling. So the connection to spirit, a lot of women come to me and say, I just wish I felt the flow. I wish I felt that center connection. Something that I've learned from my shamanic training and my energy medicine training is that in every stage that we are in, there is a directional energy that goes with it. Meaning, think about the directions: north, south, east, and west. Every stage that we're in has an emotion, an energy, a vision, and a healing, right? You can look at the directions, but every stage has these four energies to it. And every stage that we're in is calling to us to feel, to heal, to visualize, to manifest, and to flow. And if we're stuck in the turbulence of emotions, then we're not in the flow. And so what I like to do with clients is, number one, teach them how to stop, drop, and feel, right? If you're a little child, remember that from like fire alarms, right? What do you do when there's a fire? You stop, you drop, and you roll. Okay, so it's a little different. Stop. Create something every single day where you have a small amount of window of time where you stop and you release the busy and you come into a practice of your own. And this can be different things. You can journal write, you can take a walk, you can even pull over in the car and just stop for 10 minutes. Drop into your body. So we all look for this beautiful connection. I had the most amazing healer tell me this so long ago. We all want this amazing connection to spirit, right? So think about that energy that's going up our crown chakra and out into spirit and all this divine connection. The problem is if you don't drop in, we're kind of missing a step. If you don't drop into your body and ground into Mother Earth, then you're spiritual bypassing, right? The whole package. We want the whole package. That's how you connect to spirit. Drop into your body, take a deep breath, put your hand on your chest and your belly, and just ask yourself, where am I feeling some emotions? It can be joy. Where am I feeling emotions? Okay, it's in my belly. Just listen. Okay, it's in my belly. If my belly had something to say, what would it say? Listen in. Give yourself a compassionate listening ear to listen to how your belly feels. So when I've done this with my belly talks about long ago wounds, like that feeling of hopelessness and helplessness that I learned from generations of women in my family. I learned a lot of beautiful things, but one of the things I learned was helplessness and hopelessness. So I had digestive issues for years, and that is always where it went, right? Anything that happened went right into my belly because that was like the seat of the helplessness and hopelessness. So what I had to do is go in and talk to her. What are you feeling? What do you need? What do you need? What do you want? And give yourself permission to feel these emotions fully. Cry, scream, rage, roll on the floor, get messy with your feelings. If you don't have practice, this is going to take some practice. This is what I do with my clients, right? Not only do we connect to spirit, but we connect to your body. We root you down into Mama Earth. Mama Earth, she wants your body to be safe. She wants your body to be a safe and beautiful place to live in. That's where your emotions live. So feel, stop, drop, and feel fully into your emotions, not your story. You don't want to say, oh, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. Feel into your emotions. Feel into that full feeling of grief or sadness or joy. Because guess what? Once you feel that full feeling, then the joy has room to live in your body. Then the peace has more space. Then the connection is restored. God doesn't leave. We just get jumbled up with all of our emotions. So this is something that I have been doing for years and years and years. This is something I've done with my children, with my family, even my animals, in a different way. Myself, my own body, my own healing has been restored to true health because I allow myself to feel my emotions and then connect to spirit. Really, it's this whole beautiful flow of opening the crown chakra, feeling the emotions, opening the body. What do you feel? What do you need? And then grounding into Mama Earth and feeling safe and feeling protected. And so I want to hear how you create your own practice to feeling safe and feeling protected and feeling joy and feeling love and feeling that divine connection. Aren't we all ready for a deeper connection to spirit, to our bodies, to our health, to our love, to our hearts? Your heart chakra has the most beautiful journey ready for you. There are so many nuances to our heart chakra. There are so many places to travel and connections to feel inside of our heart chakra. So stop, drop, and feel into your emotions. Connect to spirit and feel that connection restored. Open to the synchronicities once you have felt the emotions. Remember, busyness is not a badge of honor. You are the center. You are your heart center, your sacred center is what you've been searching for your whole life. Look no further to your sacred center to give you the answers that you need and the connection that you desire. A heartfelt namaste to all of you. And I wish you sacred space to connect and ritualize and feel into your own emotions so that you can feel that connection every single day. Namaste, everybody.